In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the person named Dyaa el-Din wrote that the human body's natural state is health and integrity. That's point number one. The human body's natural state, its original state, is health and integrity. And it will remain in this state as long as there are no violent external inputs or influences. Therefore, complete fasting from any inputs fully achieves this state, which inevitably ends when the fast is broken with the very first input. If you could maintain this state, you would be in the state of a body that never gets sick. Statement number 2. Every input to the body carries harm, just as it carries benefit, which is keeping this body alive and nourishing it with what's necessary to remain active and functional. As long as the input has waste that settles inside you, then it has certain harms. Waste that needs to be excreted, that's the harm. So waste that needs to be excreted and that the body needs to get rid of is harmful. So any food you eat, this food carries harm, just as it carries benefit, which is keeping this body alive or its growth in the case of children. Number 3, every input to the body is considered a foreign object by the body. Consequently, the human body has a reaction. This reaction is one of 3 things, either an immune allergic one, which follows lymphatic pathways, or central nervous, which they call the gut-brain axis, or hormonal glandular. What kind of hormonal? Glandular, meaning peripheral, intestinal, or central pituitary. Pay attention, hormonal glandular has 2 parts. Peripheral intestinal, which includes insulin, glucagon, serotonin, and gastrin. These are intestinal hormones. Or central pituitary, which works from the pituitary down to the adrenal gland. Statement number 4. The body's daily, repeated, and continuous struggle in dealing with hard-to-digest inputs, which leads to blockages and obstructions. Repeated intestinal blockages, even if incomplete, that's the first thing. So hard-to-digest inputs and repeated intestinal blockages, even if incomplete, or harmful waste from incomplete digestion, or inputs carrying stimulants for the nervous system, the hormonal system, and the allergic immune system, or inputs carrying explicit toxins, antibiotic residues of fertilizers, stimulants, chemicals, and nitrogen fertilizers, pesticide residues, which we call what? Pesticide residues. What does that really mean for us? So what? Well, it's actually the body's struggle to deal with these leftover chemicals, dealing daily with these inputs, hard to digest, causing intestinal blockages, frequent even if partial, harmful waste from incomplete digestion, triggers for your nervous, hormonal, immune, and allergic systems. That's 3, or explicit toxins like antibiotic residues of fertilizers, stimulants, colorants, chemicals, and fertilizers, pesticide residues. Statement number 5. This struggle manifests as constant pressure on a body that's constantly resisting, leading to frequent physical and psychological symptoms. Interconnected yet not obviously connected to each other, which is why they're called syndromes. The lack of clear causality in these links led to vague and unclear diagnoses. Suffering grows as these symptoms shift and drift due to interactions between ingested chemicals from ingested toxins, alongside accompanying medications. Again, so the struggle intensifies, the symptoms shift and drift due to interactions between ingested chemicals from harmful toxins in food, along with the use of accompanying medications leading to worsening symptoms. What I mean is the randomness of it. What does random occurrence mean? It means you're poisoned by something and you took medicine for a symptom you don't even have. So the blood pressure pill interacted with the toxin and caused a reaction, the drug-drug interaction, while you're completely clueless. This leads to worsening symptoms and a mix of symptoms and diseases that fall into specific groups. Like this group here is fibromyalgia, fibromyalgia from the rheumatologist. Then here's the blood pressure group, and here's the diabetes group. And here's the immune diseases group. And here's the cancer group. That's how the classification goes. So it's randomness combined with massive numbers of number 6. Regardless of the symptom or disease name, it must be accompanied by a chronic disorder. And that's one of the conditions in the digestive system. Even if the complaints first started during childhood, with the presence of acid inhibitors that were released on the market, meaning for about 20 years since 2005, the PPI market was launched, starting with Controloc, the Godfather, and everything that followed. It shouldn't be ignored. And with the progression of the disease and the emergence of cancers, we must not overlook the role of acid inhibitors in the appearance of these symptoms. Number 7, the cycle of treating what is not the actual cause. Chest stabs, blurred vision, dry mouth, kidney pain, frequent urination, and attributing them to a hiatal hernia, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, or the presence of uric acid to these agreed upon myths. I like to call them agreed upon myths because we are the dissenters. We are the dissenters. We are the clever ones, the followers of Ali al-Zaybak. Statement number 8, changes in analytical evidence, which are clinical laboratory investigations, the laboratory. Changes in analytical evidence and laboratory developments, the findings, that is. It indicates a change in the body's strategy under chronic stress and provocation. And there is no definitive evidence that it's the cause of the accompanying symptoms or changes. The cause is that which, when removed, ends the problem or the symptom. So again, changes in analytical evidence and laboratory developments, like high blood sugar, urea, creatinine, or uric acid, indicate a change in the body's strategy under chronic stress and provocation. And there is no definitive evidence that is the cause of the accompanying symptoms or changes. The cause, for your information, is that which, when removed, ends the phenomenon, the problem, or the symptom. The insulin I take, yet the sugar rises. This means the sugar isn't high because of an insulin deficiency. Again, the insulin I take to lower the sugar, but the sugar doesn't drop, it rises. So the sugar wasn't high because of low insulin, period. Again, the insulin I give, which lowers the sugar, but doesn't improve erectile function, means sugar isn't the cause of the dysfunction. The reflux from a hiatal hernia, the hernia was treated, yet the reflux remains the same. Reflux due to bacteria, we took the medicine for the bacteria, but the reflux is still there. Just the same. Number 9. Drawing conclusions from lab evidence, like sugar and acetone, HDL and LDL, urea and creatinine, minerals and conductive mineral fluids, the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and chloride, and linking it directly to the type of food, is superficial, specific, and completely wrong. What does that mean? Let's go back to number 9. Drawing conclusions from lab evidence, like sugar, acetone, HDL, and LDL, urea, creatinine, minerals, and mineral fluids, and linking it to the nature of food, that's just wrong. 100% wrong. Why? Because these markers are the same in all types of mammals and egg-laying creatures that have a liver. I mean, a crocodile has a liver and a chicken has a liver. And mammals, like a cow that eats grass, and a tiger that eats meat and drinks blood. All of them have sugar, acetone, HDL, LDL, urea, and creatinine. Even a mouse. So mammal. And egg layers, like birds, chickens, and crocodiles that have a liver, must have what I mentioned: HDL, LDL, acetone, sugar, urea, and creatinine. It's nature. God created it that way. The liver produces these things. The liver produces these things. So all herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, everything with a liver, pigeons, chickens, and crocodiles, all of them have acetone, urea, creatinine, and sugar. And monkeys, by the way, because I really like monkeys. The rise and fall of these values from their usual levels is fundamentally linked to changes in the body's state, neurological, hormonal, immunological, or allergic, regardless of the type of intake. So this means it's not that sugary food raised the sugar or protein-rich food raised the uric acid. Wrong. Wrong. That's just wrong. The rise and fall of these indicative values from their usual observed levels is fundamentally linked to changes in the body's state, neurological, hormonal, immunological, or allergic, regardless of the type of intake. So this means that as a duck-legged duck creature, I'm the same as a tiger, meat eater and blood drinker. Do you get it? I'm just a duck with a duck's leg. Equated with the tiger, the meat eater and blood drinker, both of us have creatinine and both of us have urea. You have sugar and acetone, and so do I. Look, no matter what you eat, your body will react. Your body will react based on a specific strategy. This strategy is triggered because you put it under stress. It says, I'll handle this stress this way. Do you understand? Number 10, the final point in the statement. The body's ability to recover and heal itself through replacement, substitution, manufacturing, and synthesis. By resisting, preventing, forming, and dispersing, integrated, harmonious, and endless until death, your relative health is essentially equal to your ability to avoid toxic inputs in your life. Yawan, if you have zero toxic inputs, that means your health is, in a sense, infinite. And that was the very last point of the statement. The statement itself has 10 points, and I signed it at the end. A lifestyle, zero medicine, zero medicine. I mean what I say. All of it, zero medicine. I have no ulterior motive. Your health is in your hands. Whoa, I've said my piece. I am finished.